The Rosicrucian was a secret society formed in medieval Germany by Christian Rosicrucians. They supposedly held secrets held back from the average person concerning nature, the universe, and the spiritual world, symbolized by the rosy cross and thought to be the first of all the secret societies. Two manifestos were published in the 17th century by the Rosicrucian Society. Fema Fraternitatis R.C., interpreted as the Fame of the Brotherhood R.C., and Confessio Fraternitatis, interpreted as the Confession of the Brotherhood of R.C. Other books were written, and they were Theatrum Simicum Britannicum, Opus Megacabalisticum et Theosophicum, and Aureum Velis Oder Goldenus Vlius. Pamphlets and posters were also handed out throughout all of Europe. In Paris, a pamphlet was given out stating, "We, the deputies of the Higher College of Rosicrucian, do make our stay visible and invisible within this city." Another pamphlet stated, "The thoughts attached to the real desire of the seeker will lead us to him and him to us." Later, another pamphlet was handed out saying the Rosicrucian had traveled east because of the 13-year war. That pamphlet was named Pia et Utilissima Admonitio de Fratribus Rosicrucis, and thought to have been written by Henricus Nehusius, the founder of the Order of the Golden and Rosy Cross, who also suggested that the Rosicrucian did indeed migrate east. Many more references were made about the society after the 13-year war, though, and this controversy would continue well into the 20th century. The Fama Fraternitatis gave birth to the legend of the doctor and the mystic philosopher. Frater CRC, later known as Christian Rosicrucian or Rosy Cross, which was actually one of the same within the fraternity. It was said that Frater CRC was born in 1378 and lived for 106 years. He studied under the master in the Middle East and furthered his pursuit by attempting to educate prominent European figures. Without success, Frater CRC gathered close friends and disciples, whom he also trained and eventually founded the Rosicrucian. While Christian Rosicrucian was alive, only 8 members were permitted within the society. Each were doctors with a bachelor. Each member sworn to heal the poor without pay, and maintaining the secret society by finding a replacement before they die. Opposing the Catholic Church, they were referred to as Rosicrucian Enlightenment. Theatrum Chimicum Britannicum, Opus Megacabalisticum et Theosophicum, and Aureum Velis Order Goldenus Vlius were said to be about the evolution, transmutation of the threefold body, soul, and spirit of the humanity, and other esoteric beliefs according to the path of initiation. The two manifestos were then associated with Protestantism and Protestantism Protestantism and Lutheranism because of their opposition to Catholic dogma over empiricism. The Rosicrucian Society claimed this knowledge was from the Moors and kept in secret until the world could receive it. The Rosicrucian is often misunderstood and misinterpreted because the writings were mostly written in parables, misinformation that is in fact allegoric statements, often thrown to the side and thought of as a hoax. Stories within stories, which the first story is full of misinformation leading to another story hidden from view. There are claims that the chemical wedding of Christian Rosicrucians was influenced by Henrik Coenrath of Hambridge. Henrik Coenrath had written Amphitheatrum Septiae Etima, and it was believed that Coenrath was influenced by John Dee, who wrote Manos Hieroglyphica, written on the invitation to the royal wedding in the chemical wedding of Christian Rosicrucians, was John Dee's philosophical key, which was the Mona hieroglyphic symbol. In his biography, Johann Valentin Andrea had claimed that he anonymously published the chemical wedding of Christian Rosicrucians. He was known to criticize alchemy and belittle its use, placing it in ridicule as a lesser science. The true authenticity of his claim of authorship for the chemical wedding of Christian Rosicrucians is controversial and regarded as the author by some and not the author by others. The Rosicrucian did practice alchemy and use science, alchemy, controversy, and the media to relay their opinions and beliefs, mostly through misinformation, allegory, and conspiracy, though. A lot of people from the 16th century until the 18th century were inspired by the Rosicrucians. Individuals such as Michael Meyer, Robert Flood, Elias Ashmole, Theophilus Swaggart, Constantius Gothardus, Arthusius, Julius Sperber, Henricus Madathanus, Gabriel Nod, Thomas Vaughan, George von Welling, and Hermann Fichtel. Michael Mayer was appointed court paladin by the king and emperor of Hungary of Bohemia. Rudolph II and his writings clearly support the Rosicrucian Society because of the influence of that the society held. It was believed that Rosicrucian idea concerning science and experiment were the same ideas that created the Royal Society. It was termed Invisible College by the Rosicrucian, then changed from Invisible College to Royal Society. The idea of an invisible college was promoted by Johann Kepler, George Joachim, Rheticus, John Dee, Tycho Brahe, and Robert Boyle. Boyle himself wrote, "The cornerstone of the invisible college do now and then honor me with their company." Meetings occurred well before the formation of the Royal Society, and many comments can be found referring to these meetings, two from both John Wilkins and John Wallace. There were two Rosicrucian rites within the Freemasons Guild, which were introduced in the 18th century. The rectified Scottish Rite has a golden rosy cross as its symbol, and the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite, which was practiced in France first. The 18th degree is termed Knight of the Rosicrucian, and in the 19th and 20th century several groups imitated Rosicrucian, but with varying ideologies. The ones who practice traditional Rosicrucian can be divided into three categories: esoteric Christian, Golden Dawn, and AMORC. These groups break down into even more groups, adding more ideologies to them as well. An alchemist and Freemason named Hermann Fichtel formed a Rosicrucian organization in the 1750s called the Order of the Golden and Rosy Cross. All candidates had to be Master Masons and in good standing. Alchemy was the central study within the membership. It is believed that the organization's creation was inspired by a book called The Perfect and True Preparation of the Philosopher's Stone. According to The Secret of the Brotherhood of the Rosy Cross, published by Sigmund Reichters, by the 1770s the group had branched out to Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt, Munich, Vienna, Prague, Poland, Hungary, and Russia. After the death of King William II, the order's membership slowly declined. It was believed that the order may have eventually changed their name to Rosicruciana in Anglia, which was a Masonic esoteric Christian organization formed by Robert Wentworth. Little in 1865. Robert Wentworth Little in 1865. His order claimed that they were not linked to Order of the Golden and Rosy Cross, but their order had the same structure and grade suggested by author Edward Waite, who stated they were derived from the order and it later became the same grade system used by the Golden Dawn, and it's based its teachings on the Fema and the Confessio Fraternitas. Its requirements were that each member declared their belief in the Trinity of Christ and offer assistance to other members working on the problems of nature and science when needed. The order was broken down into three groups. The first group, Frates, met in colleges that were the equivalents of lodges in other orders. Each member of this group had to have a minimum of 6 months in the order and were taught the first 4 degrees or grades. Each member was encouraged to deliver a paper on a topic of interest in open college. With a minimum of 2 years membership, a Step 4 member can be introduced to the second group within the order. The first 4 degrees or grades were Zelator, Theoricus, Practicus, and Philosophus. The second group of the order was run by the chief adept, which was the equivalent of a Masonic provincial Grand Lodge. Grade 4 members can now learn 3 more grades and the equivalence of 7 grades total. These grades were Adeptus Minor, Adeptus Major, and Adeptus Exemptus. A member in this group can only complete each grade within 1 year. They can also be a celebrant or master in the first group of the college when they have reached Adeptus Exemptus. The third group of the order was run by a supreme magus, a senior substitute magus, and a junior substitute magus. The members are selected by the supreme magus. Members selected had to have given service to the second group of the order to advance to the third group. Another 2 grades are learned, bringing the total of grades to 9. These grades are Magister and Magus. In 1888, the Societas Rosicruciana formed the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Restrictions on membership for women, Christians, non-Christians, Masons, and non-Masons were removed. Most of the Societas Rosicruciana survived in the new order, going on to influence organizations in Scotland, Canada, the United States, and the revival of the occult within the 20th century. The Hermetic Brotherhood of Light claimed that they descended from Fratres Lucis in the 18th century, derived from the Order of the Golden and Rosy Cross in Germany. They also claimed they were the seed of Ordo Templi Orientis. 3 of the members were Carl Kellner, Pascal Beverly, and Aleister Crowley. Originally, the order was modeled as a European Freemasonry order, but under the direction of Aleister Crowley, new laws were put in place. The order became more of a Gnostic sect than that of a Freemason organization.